And so far, any clashes?
Hi, Leland. Yeah, there have been some clashes. Police around the country have fear that there would be because of the dueling protest action that's happening in 28 cities in 19 states. On one side, you have the anti-Sharia law people. These are people that believe that Sharia law and Islamic law is a threat to the Constitution. On the other side, you have those who believe that this movement is anti-Muslim. They are anti-Trump, anti-fascist, and they believe that this is all a racist thing. So you have two different sides. The police did everything they could to split them up across the street. They've been crossing the street, and now you've got a mix of both protests. So there have been some pushing, there's been some shoving, and you have extreme elements essentially of both sides. It really is pretty apropos and an example of the politics of our country right now. You see the NYPD doing a good job of making sure that one protest stays there while the other anti-Sharia law protest stays here. And the big crux of where the disconnect is that one side believes that the anti-Sharia law side means that they're all anti-Muslim. And here they believe, we spoke to protesters who came out here in support of Trump, who are conservatives, who say this is not about being anti-Muslim. Take a listen.
This is a pro-American, that we need to do this for ourselves, for each other. We really do. We have to look out for each other.
I'm for Islam. I don't discriminate against anything or the religions or race or anything. It's just the extremism part of it that sort of makes everything so bad.
So these grassroots marches that are happening today, the marches against Sharia law, organized by Act for America. It's a large national security organization is how they characterize themselves. But the other side of this, the anti-fascists and those that are against this movement, say that the Act for America group is actually anti-Islamic, and they believe that it is a veil, essentially, for people to just be racist and against Muslims. Take a listen to one of the supporters of the other side that we spoke to today.
They're not for our rights. They're not for our freedom. They're for the freedom of just a very small percentage of this country.
So again, Leland, we'll be watching the protests throughout the entire day here. 28 cities and 19 states, dueling clashes expected throughout the day. Considering what we saw in Portland, Oregon on Sunday, all eyes are on these protests. NYPD doing a good job of keeping everybody in check so far. Leland?
Yeah, Brian, before you go, give us a sense of what these folks are looking for. One of the people you interviewed had on what looked to be a combat helmet. Are folks coming out looking to pick a fight, or is it simply when the crowds come together, there's some pushing and shoving and name-calling?
The Act for America group, the anti-Sharia law group, a lot of those guys that we interviewed with the helmets, they said that they came prepared for a fight given what they saw in Portland, Oregon with the Antifa movement. That's the radical left side. They believe that given what they saw there, that they're having a sort of pro-Trump or a right conservative agenda or message in the middle of New York City could incite violence from the left. And of course the left is bringing people here essentially saying that we need to defend against racists on the other side. So both sides have come armed and ready just in case. Yeah. Leland?
We have seen that before with not great results. Brian Yennis on the ground in New York. Back to you, our reporters around the country as news warrants. Thanks, Brian.